I have 20 minutes with you. Hopefully, I'll take much lesser than this and not put you to sleep. To begin, my name is Noopur Chaturvedi. After around 15 years in banks and another 10 years in Fintechs, I decided to join NPCI and has been a joyride ever since. This slide essentially shows our journey over the last 3 years since we were spun off as a separate subsidiary from NPCI. We've moved from 5 categories to almost 28, 29 categories now, from 90 billers to more than 22,000 billers at this point of time. As recent as 3 months back, we did 1 trillion rupees in a monthly transactions. So that's the scale with which we are operating right now. Most of you use us, but don't know about us. Every electricity bill or DTH bill that you pay, irrespective of the app, irrespective of the web, gets processed by us. So when we were spun off as a separate entity, can I get this screen also enabled if possible, please? Yeah, thanks. So when we got spun off as a separate subsidiary, our intention was to become the de facto invoice receivables platform. We are actually one of the biggest collections network in the world, and there are only 2 other countries that have a similar platform. So yeah, we are very, very uniquely placed. At this point of time, we support all kinds of payment rails, and we do not call ourselves payment platform. We want to call ourselves a collections platform. From a collections perspective, who is the one collecting from you? It can either be a person, your landlord, collecting from you. It can be a business collecting from you towards the services rendered to you, or it can be government collecting from you, either in form of challans or in form of taxes. Outside of this, the same matrix holds true from a person, business, or government collecting from a business. So amongst all of these cells, we had been playing a role in businesses collecting from individuals. But at some point, 2 years back in our 5-year strategy, we decided to start focusing on business-to-business collections, because that is a space which is still a white field, and a lot of investments happening there, a lot of fintechs headed there, but not really a DPI that has been able to make a mark yet world over. So with that, last year in August, we launched the first DPI for B2B payments. We call it Bharat Connect for businesses. It was launched on the GFF stage by RBI governor himself. And where did the inspiration come from? So here's your friendly neighborhood Kirana owner, maybe 2nd generation. Rahul name has nothing to do with my love for Shah Rukh Khan. Now, this person, research shows, spends more than 60% of his time just reconciling his payments and collections. His day is spent trying to figure out, how HUL distributor has sent him an invoice, which might be on mail. How has PNG distributor sent him an invoice, which might be on WhatsApp or some other app. And a small-time supplier, how that, kacha chitta has reached him. So the entire time gets spent in trying to figure out what invoices have been received, whether he has paid them in time or not, which one should he prioritize for making a payment. Now remember, this is the same store where all of you go and use UPI today. So his receipts are all digital. However, his payment upward of the value chain are not digital, not seamless, not smooth at this point of time. So this is the problem statement we started with. Across his life cycle, for any SME, these are some of the challenges that we realized. We've done actually a very, very extensive study across size of the business, across industries, and across geographies. However, the main problems remain the same. Now, what are these problems? One, when he starts taking supplies from a new distributor, he's unable to prove his credit worthiness, which means he has to possibly pay in advance or pay at the same time of getting the supplies. Now, in order to even give the supply to him, the distributor has to manually visit, check all his document, and only then onboard him on their ERPs. The second problem, equally important, is invoice generation and acknowledgement. I mentioned about the HUL, PNG, paperboard invoices coming from different channels. However, he has to then acknowledge it across multiple channels that he's using in order to confirm that order back to the distributor. And he does not have a single view where all invoices can be shown to him. The next challenge that we realized was around financing. And while there's a lot of action from a lot of fintechs and non-fintechs around the capability of giving him finance, the fact remains that India's formal credit is still at a single percentage. Add to it, he's saying that I am receiving payments, I am paying to the distributor, however, no one is able to extend formal credit to me. The next problem that again he faces is the collections payments. So imagine, if this is a slightly bigger shop, the payment is happening on the net banking portal. However, the invoices are on Tally or some of the other systems, and there's no linkage. If you're a small business, then there's no linkage between your accounts and your ERPs. And therefore, either a couple of people need to be deployed to be able to reconcile it, and then there's a third leg of paying GST on all of that. And finally, like I mentioned, the reconciliation is a nightmare for anyone other than a well-established, a 500 crore turnover plus kind of a company, which has very customized, very proprietary solutions available to them. Apart from that, it is an issue across the board. There's a huge efficiency improvement that can happen for these SMEs. Now, possibly just one more piece around the fact that is it a population scale problem for us to solve, right? And I say it in a lighter vein that at roughly around 60 million SMEs, we have 175 countries which have population lesser than this. So it is a population scale problem that we need to solve. Of these 63 million, there are 90 lakh which are registered for GST, which means that they are happy in doing everything on a system only if someone can solve all the problems that I've been talking about. At this point of time, I will just take you through, how we thought about this platform and what are we trying to solve for.
A different language, trying to communicate without a single word in common. Sounds chaotic, right? Now, think about businesses. Companies across the world with different systems and practices, trying to connect, collaborate, and transact with each other. It's a lot like that chaotic room. Complicated, confusing, and often frustrating. But what if there's a common language that could turn that chaos into harmony? Imagine a world where there are no complex vendor onboarding, no mismatched entries, no manual reconciliation, no repetitive follow-ups. A world where two businesses can communicate and understand each other. Now, stop imagining, because the future is here. Introducing Bharat Connect for Business, the universal language for businesses. A first-of-its-kind platform that that not only connects various business systems but also bridges the gap between ERPs, banks, FinTechs and financing partners. A revolutionary solution where onboarding.
Cool. So I'll take a break here and just quickly mention what we are intending to do. Like I said, for any transaction, there is a buyer side and supplier side. Very simply put, we are trying to make a Zoho system interoperable with an SAP system, a Tally system interoperable with an Oracle system, and thus enabling all the ERPs to be able to communicate with each other. So, yeah. Outside of that, one, therefore, is the information exchange, which becomes seamless and real time. The minute an invoice gets raised, at the same time, the other person can receive it, get a notification, acknowledge it. Similarly, add on the next layer the payment leg. What happens, therefore, is that any supplier is able to pay for a particular invoice or pay multiple invoices in bulk. And again, the acknowledgement of that flows on the real time on the other side, right? And then add on one more layer to it, which is the financing layer. Our platform makes it possible for the smallest of the businesses to be able to get financing, which is cash flow based financing, across every invoice that flows through their system and is GST compliant. This is how we are structured. So we sit in the center as a neutral, non-conflicting switch. We continue to be a B2B company. We are neither talking to buyer directly or talking to the supplier directly. But all the connections happen only via either a fintech or a bank or an ERP. So at this point of time, for example, we have Zoho as a partner, and all the vendor suppliers, whether they're on supplying side or a buying side, are accessible for other fintechs, for other banks to exchange invoice with and give the status of payments on a real-time basis. What's in it for all the participants? Well, your proposition becomes so much more stronger. You do not have to keep working on closed looping a solution. It's fine if you're only on one side of a payment or an invoice exchange. The transaction will still go through. Your solution to the MSMEs will be still equally strong. The future of B2B payments in India is not just digital. It is intelligent, seamless, and empowering. We invite all of you to join us in this revolutionary, one-of-its-kind platform in the world and unlock India's GDP, which is stuck today in inefficiencies and time wasted in payments and reconciliations. Thank you. With that.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for this informative session. Very, very interesting one. And we would love to appreciate and acknowledge your presence here by presenting a memento. Requesting sir to kindly present it. Samir sir is here to present the memento here to the ma'am. Let's just hear it a little louder and thank her for such an informative session. It has been truly, really very nice. Thank you.